as a Gemini moon, you need to find ways to scratch that itch. You know what I mean? Yourself. Like, you can't always expect other people to entertain you. Like, you get bored of being with one person. Okay, so then don't be with one person. I feel like his Gemini moon and his Cancer sun are having a hard time aligning. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, a Cancer wants to be devoted. They want that life partner. Sometimes Gemini placements, they get bored easily. Yeah. You know what I mean? And if your other placements aren't strong enough to pull you back into that, you know, devoted one person type of relationship, your other side will win and you will be out in the streets getting a high from being stimulated by multiple people. It's your girl Sarah.
And Maya.
And we're charmed and dangerous.
You know, because we be charming.
And we be dangerous.
And we be charming. And we be dangerous. And we be charming. And we be dangerous.
Today we are getting into the reality TV world.
Yes.
Which is very much our world.
We love it.
This specific show, you can tell by the title, I've been watching it since I was literally like 18 and I've grown with it. And whenever I watch any show, I can't help but wonder, what are their signs?
Right.
Why are they acting this way?
Yes.
Is it because they're this? Is it because they're that? Even when it's a fictional show.
Right.
I'm like, what would their sign be?
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm just so intrigued. So today we're gonna get into the Vanderpump Rules cast zodiac signs. And honestly, happy Cancer season, first of all.
Yes.
And you guys are probably like, oh my God, where are the Cancer videos? Trust and believe, this is a Cancer video because newsflash, there's a lot of Cancer
like
placements.
half of this cast has
Yeah,
a Cancer
exactly.
placement.
Like, so you're getting the vibes.
Yes.
And then the second thing I want to touch on is that this is just a video about astrology tied into these people. We're not a drama channel. We're an astrology fun channel.
Correct.
And everything we say might not be absolutely correct, but we're tying our astrological knowledge into reality TV and this specific show.
Yes.
So let's just have some fun. Okay, so for the sake of time, we're only gonna do certain cast members. We're just gonna focus on Ariana, Tom, and obviously Rachel for the scan of all of it all.
Yes.
And there'll be one other part which we'll focus on the rest of the cast.
Yes.
Because this video would be obnoxiously long.
Way too long.
Okay, so let's get started.
Yes.
I feel like for funsies, we'll kind of go through the cast based on where they were sitting at the reunion. Yeah. And I'm gonna post actually the reunion picture here because even if you've never watched this show, maybe you've heard of it, this is a fun astrology video in general because we'll be telling you certain placements and talking about those placements. So even if you don't know these people, guaranteed you're gonna learn something and you're gonna laugh.
Yeah. And you can go back and watch the show and maybe feel more connected to them now as well if you've never watched it before.
Or the opposite, be a little embarrassed and do some self-reflection. Like, damn, I have that same placement and damn, I be doing shit like that.
Right.
I feel like we can't start this without talking about Andy Cohen.
No.
Andy Cohen is an icon. Obviously, he is one of the people that is most prevalent in the Bravo world. He is the one that interviews a lot of these reality TV stars on his show, and then also he is the one that hosts a lot of the reunions, and he is a Gemini man, and I believe he has a Gemini stellium, which makes so much sense because Geminis in general are very much in the gossip, they're in the know, they're really good communicators, so they're able to get things out of people, and they don't forget things. They're able to keep their wits about them, even if they're very much in the drama. Because clearly he's in the drama.
Yes, no, he loves it. He's very inquisitive, and he's asking all the questions that I feel like we all want to know. Yeah. And something I didn't know about Andy and specifically Vanderpump Rules is that he didn't like create the show, right? Like he just comes and does the reunions for them.
He does. Andy's the creator of Housewives. Yeah. He's not the creator of Vanderpump Rules and, you know, some other reality shows on Bravo. But he's very much involved because he hosts his late night show and he brings them in and is very much aware of what is happening every season.
Yeah, and I just think he knows everything that's going on. Everything. You know?
And he's everyone's best friend, which is very much Gemini energy. Like, Gemini is friends with everybody. That's why they know everyone's fucking secrets. Like, that's why his hair is so big. It's full of secrets. And then, okay, let's get into it also. Let's get into Lisa Vanderpump.
Yes,
Lisa Vanderpump. So if you don't know, Vanderpump Rules is all about Lisa Vanderpump's restaurant. That's how the show started. Lisa Vanderpump is a rich bitch who lives in LA, and she's a restaurateur. So she has several restaurants in LA. And she so happened to find out that, oh my God, like, the employees at my restaurants, they're all fucking each other. Like, it's really messy. Like, this is a great show. So she decided to make a show about, you know, her employees at the restaurant and the relationships they have with each other and just how incestuous it really all is. And it's so funny because these days, you know, she just comes in, even at the beginning, she would just come in, pop in, offer advice. That's very much Virgo energy.
Yes.
Like, she doesn't want to be too deep in it, but actually, no, what am I talking about? She wants to be deep in it.
She
because
does.
she wants to tell them what to do.
Too. Yeah, she wants to be involved.
She's motherly in that way.
Yeah. You know?
Yeah.
I feel like her heart is in her restaurant because she's a Virgo. She cares, you know what I mean? She cares about how she's presenting. And then she likes the tea a little bit too. So she wants to be in the drama and in the know of like what the young people are doing.
Oh, for sure. And she wants to offer her advice. You know what I mean? And I feel like they all kind of look to her. They all want to make her proud in some way. And it's like, what is a Virgo if it's not someone that you want to make proud?
Right. Facts. Also, I feel like the way that she presents, how she's very put together and like she isn't too like brash or like in your face. That's very like Virgo energy to me.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely.
And there's
she's very judgy too.
Yes.
And she will tell you how she feels.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Bluntly.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely.
And just kind of like blurts it out. She even says things that are like inappropriate, I feel like sometimes. Sure. You know?
But that's her dry British humor.
Yes. And that's Virgos too. You know what I mean? Like they just be blurting out very blunt things. You're like, oh.
Yeah, that hurt.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's start with the scandal of it all.
The scandal of it all.
Let's start with Tom fucking Sandoval. I feel like his last name's not even Sandoval. It's Sandoval
now.
Just like Raquel is Rachel.
Right.
Rachel and Sandoval. He is a Cancer Sun, Gemini Moon. I just have to say, as a Gemini Moon myself, we do not at all accept him, welcome him. We are not okay with his essence. Yeah.
Okay, I feel like Tom really did some real water sign shit of how, especially in the reunion, because he was like trying to weaponize his tears. And he was like, everybody look at me and like feel bad for me while I cry. And I feel like that is such Cancer energy. I've talked about this before. When they're upset, everybody has to feel it too. And they're very much like, whoa, it's me. Yeah. Feel me.
No, deadass.
And he was doing that.
He was doing it. I mean, I feel like Cancers in general are really, really good at gaslighting people. I would say they're some of the best gaslighters I know.
Yes.
Water signs probably in general, because again, like, how could you not feel sorry for someone that is very emotional? Yeah. But it's also very Cancerian energy of him to, when it is not working, have a blowout. You know what I mean? Like, it's like that cardinal water, like it just can't hide itself. You know what I mean? Like, I'm rushing, my emotions are coming out, but I'm reclining like a tsunami. You know, it first goes back and then it hits you. And I feel like that's exactly what he was doing. Yeah. And I feel like that's how Cancers can be too, you know, like when their wave of emotion comes, they try to be like, oh, I'm trying to hide it a little bit, like I'm a little shy of it, and then they can't hide it. Like who they are comes up so strong. Right. And we know who Tom is. He very much showed himself throughout the entire season. I mean, throughout the entire series, I've watched since season 1, I feel like he is really good at supporting people, and again, this question comes into play a lot even with the cast of like, is it genuine or is he just doing it because he wants to be the nice guy? Yeah. And we've talked about like Cancers before, like they're very good at making you feel comfortable, making you feel cozy and being a really good friend, but sometimes it's not genuine, you know what I mean? And you know who Cancer's real friends are. Yes. It's very obvious who they are. But I feel like that's why it was so confusing with Tom, is that like you would think this dude that takes his friendship so seriously wouldn't do some dumb shit, but he did some dumb shit. Right. And I feel like, okay, his Cancer Sun and like Gemini Moon are sometimes like fighting each other because, you know, we know Cancers to be
homely, very loyal, very loving. Like they want a family and they care about that more than anything, right?
Yeah.
But I feel like a Gemini moon sometimes can be very restless and they're always kind of looking for something else, right?
Yeah,
if they aren't fully satisfied, right? Like when it's very low vibrational, and I feel like that is him to a T. Like he may want that home, and clearly he does, why he moved in with Ariana. They've been together for the past 10 years, but like still his eye was always wandering.
Oh, for sure. And it always has. Like even besides her, like at the end of the day, I feel like as a Gemini moon, you need to find ways to scratch that itch. You know what I mean? Yourself. Like you can't always expect other people to entertain you. Like, you get bored of being with one person. Okay, so then don't be with one person. I feel like his Gemini moon and his Cancer sun are having a hard time aligning. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like a Cancer wants to be devoted. They want that life partner. Sometimes Gemini placements, they get bored easily. Yeah. You know what I mean? And if your other placements aren't strong enough to pull you back into that, you know, devoted one person type of relationship, your other side will win and you will be out in the streets getting a high from being stimulated by multiple people.
100%. And I feel like his Leo Venus too, and like that Gemini moon coming together, he needs all of that attention and love on him. Yeah. And he hated that Ariana would get so much of it because she's beautiful and intelligent.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
She was born fucking cool. You know what I mean?
Right. And he wasn't. And I just feel like his colors really, really showed to me this season of how slimy and manipulative he really is.
You know, the thing is, like, I feel like for me, I've always thought he was slimy because of the way he went about the things he did with Kristen. And I always thought like Miami Girl was like real, but like there was no proof, so I couldn't really like justify it. Yeah. Because he just always gives me the energy. He always gives me the energy of like, okay, well, I'm kind of jealous of my girlfriend because she gets attention. And like, he is not the type of guy that would take a back seat to let his girl shine. And I do wonder if it's because of that, you know what I mean, that Leo Venus, because he wants to be in the spotlight. Like there is no sharing it. He's very selfish with it. That's why he's always loved like all these like costume parties and going all out, and he wants to be the star of the fucking show. Right. And I know it killed him when Jax told him, I'm the #1 guy in this fucking
Dude, all of a sudden, like, I want to talk about my band or something. It's like, dude, that's f***ed up.
Shut the f*** up about your f***ing band. You stop acting like you're the #1 guy in this group, man. I'm the #1 guy in this group.
Are you f***ing kidding me, Jax? F*** you, man.
Like his eye was probably twitching.
Yeah, he's like,
what you made?
How can I be #1? It's what he was really thinking too.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Okay, next we have Queen Ariana. She is a Cancer with a Virgo moon. Honestly, when I found out that both Tom and Ariana were Cancers, I was like, this is sweet. Like, they're gonna tend to each other's needs. They're gonna be there for each other. But then slowly I would see how Tom would not put her first. Like, he would, on her birthday or some shit's happening, like even the way he cheated. He went and fucked some other bitch when she was at her grandmother.
Oh my God, I know!
Like, I'm like, that is so not on brand for a Cancer. Like, a Cancer is there for you. Right. But you would see the way she is the high vibration of Cancer in the sense that she always believed him, even though, and I'm sorry, I'm Team Ariana, but sometimes it was delusional. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, I get it, you want to be the cool girlfriend who always believes your man, but like, at some point you're gonna have to see that he is actually actively putting you at the bottom of the priorities list. Right. And like, while he may have love for you, he's not showing it through his actions. And I hated that for her because she, in a very Cancer and Virgo moon sense, would ride for him. Yep. And when he's not there, even when he's not there to speak up for himself and make a case for himself, she did a really good job of making a case for him. Yeah. She was very good at rationalizing it, and I think that's because of her Virgo moon. Ooh, her Virgo moon helped her Cancer sun come to terms with the fact that, well, it's because of this, and he would never do that because of this, and we chose each other. Like, it makes sense. And I can't help but think that in this relationship, Tom took away her ability to listen to her intuition, which is the very Cancerian energy. Like, Cancers have really good intuition. They're ruled by the moon. So I can't help but feel like because of the toxicity of this situationship, this relationship, Ariana kind of lost touch with her Cancer sun and was more so focusing on the energy of her Virgo moon.
Yeah, for sure. And I just realize that they both are mercurial moons. And I feel like whenever maybe she was like trying to open up about her feelings, like his Gemini moon would maybe just always be rationalizing it and rushing her and never allowing her to really feel that emotion and like dig as deep in as I think she probably wanted to as a Cancer and Virgo, but like this Gemini moon man is like, no, like let's not get into it. You know?
You're absolutely so right, because how many times did she say, I want to be intimate with you, I just feel like we don't spend enough time together.
Right.
That's very much Virgo. Virgo, it takes them time to open up. They're not just like ready and like they meet you, one night stand energy. Like, no, they need time to really understand you, to feel comfortable in the situation, because Virgos are very much in their head. And if you think about it, most Virgos are introverts, most Geminis are extroverts.
Yeah.
Their moon signs, the innate thing, the thing that makes you the most vulnerable and soft in a relationship, your moon sign. When those two things don't align, of course you're not gonna feel like you hear each other and you're on different vibrations when it comes to your love language.
Right.
She feels fulfilled when she's at home. He clearly doesn't.
No. And I feel like you see that also in her friend group of how she is surrounded by like all earth signs. Yeah. You know? And she clearly wants somebody who's grounding and who will be there and help her feel like confident, and like that is just clearly, or never really was Tom. You know, like I don't think there's anything in his chart that is grounding about him. Like I highly doubt that he has any earth in his chart.
Let's be freaking honest. Like again, this is about astrology. I'm not gonna use the word, but Tom, I think he has a lot more problems than just his birth chart. You know?
Oh, for sure.
You know what I mean? So like, there's that. But again, we're focusing on astrology today.
Right. Okay, another thing I want to say about Ariana is that I feel like it was very Cancerian of her to put so much trust and blind faith in her man, in her bestie Raquel. And I feel like one, we saw her throughout the entire season, and really probably throughout their entire journey, her protecting him at all costs. Yeah. You know what I mean? And that's very Cancerian energy. Yeah. And I feel like, you know, Cancers make their friends their family. Yeah. You know,
their
like
chosen family.
They're everything to them. And I feel like she put so much like it is natural for a water sign, or this Cancer at least, to put so much trust in their friend. Yeah. Because that's just how they operate. You know, they're like, they feel I've done my due diligence, you wouldn't do me like that. Yeah. I'm so loyal to you.
You wouldn't do me like that. You know what I'm thinking is that like Cancers in general are some of the most impulsive signs. And Ariana's Virgo moon helps that impulsiveness. It makes her become more logical when it comes to thinking about situations. Whereas Tom, it's like double dangerous. You know what I mean? Because Cancer energy impulsive with Gemini also very impulsive. Those two things together, that's why he doesn't want to sit down. And if he were to have that time to sit within himself, he's scared of what thoughts that come up.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? And she's not. She has a Virgo moon. She's used to processing. Right. You know, she's used to being grounded in that sense. She's used to, her Virgo moon helps her Cancer sun ground itself. Right. You know what I mean? Because sometimes Cancer suns, they're impulsive and they just do things without any sort of rationality. Totally. You know, but a Virgo is very much the opposite. Yeah. They're like, does this make sense? You know, so it makes sense that she's very grounded.
Right. And that, you know, she wasn't feeling grounded from her partner. Yeah. You know what I mean? I feel like when I see them, especially in this last like season, like she is kind of like off to herself. I mean, they're like in the same space, but it doesn't feel like they are connecting or even like really like talking. And I feel it's funny because I think Mercurials can do that. I think that they can talk so much that it's like meaningless. Yeah. Almost. Yeah. You know? And like, yes, they were talking, but they weren't really like getting to the root of things or the heart of things, if that makes sense. Like you can have random casual conversations with lots of people. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I felt like this season it seemed like that's like the conversations that they were having rather than like the deep conversations that I would imagine Ariana craves.
Exactly.
You know?
And I mean, it makes sense because she's more private. Like Virgo moon versus Gemini moon, I feel like she wasn't willing to have those tough conversations on camera either, because they had a rule, don't embarrass each other in front of the camera. You know what I mean? And I thought it was really funny in the reunion when she said, because I believe her, she even said, I forgot if it was in Watch What Happens Live or what, she said, every other reunion before this one, I was the translator for Tom. He would say things that wouldn't make sense, but because I loved him, I would make sense of his message for the rest of the cast. And now I don't have that burden on me. And that's so crazy because it's like her Virgo, you know what I mean, moon was trying to make sense of his scatterbrained Gemini moon.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because I'm a Gemini moon. I know I'm a great communicator, but this man, he is not grounded at all.
No.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He is not okay.
Right.
And I'm just so happy that she gets to use her grounded energy for herself because I feel like it was taken from her and used for him for a very long time.
Also, one of the last things I want to say about her is I really enjoyed her energy actually in the reunion because I feel like every time Tom would speak, and going off of what you were kind of just saying where she always felt like she had to like explain for him or correct his language, she was like, you're fucking dumb. You know what I mean? Like, you sound stupid right now. And that's very Virgo energy.
No, it is.
Like nitpicking, being very like analytical about like, you sound fucking stupid right now.
We're gonna get into Lala too. But she's a Virgo too. And that's literally what
that's what they do.
She was telling that to Raquel, who's also a Virgo, so that's a double homicide, you know what I mean?
Right.
I don't know. But we'll get into
We're gonna get into that too.
Yeah.
We won't get into that too. Because I have thoughts about that.
No, literally.
Of why.
Yeah. Okay, let's get into Rachel. Raquel.
Fucking Rachel, Raquel, whatever.
Come on, Maya, we're unbiased.
Oh, sorry.
You guys, come on, like, that's one thing that, like, she done fucked up.
Right.
Like,
okay, also I'm about to go in.
Yeah, I mean, we have to. How could we not? How could we not?
You know?
Let's get into it.
Okay, I just have to start off by saying I feel like Virgos can be major pick-me's, and that is just like all of Raquel's like energy.
I mean, that is her brand.
That is 1000%
like,
her
you drink
brand.
beer? I love beer.
Right, like I'm this perfect. I can be better than the woman you have.
Literally, like you haven't seen perfect, honey. You haven't seen perfect. Show me what you want and I'll be that.
Literally. And AKA, I have no real personality because I'm willing to bend and mold to fit whatever
it is that you want. But the thing is, it's crazy to me because I feel like, again, this isn't all Virgos, but Virgos that are insecure, they like to come off like, they're like shy. You know what I mean? They're like, I'm shy. I need to be taken care of. I don't know what's going on. They're really good at playing dumb. Yeah. But on the inside, they can be very calculating.
Yes.
Again, this is low vibrational Virgos. Because they don't know how to say how they really feel. Because if this girl had the confidence to say how she really feels, she would be like, I like you. Clearly there's energy here. Break up with your bitch and let's be together.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So because she is not that, because she doesn't have the voice to be that, she will do everything she can behind the scenes to be the girl of your dreams. You know what I mean? And let's be honest, Tom is not fucking innocent here.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, I feel like he was giving her everything she needs to feel like she's the #1 girl in the group.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Of course. Of course. No, he was loving to
and
the
she
attention.
was loving that feedback because you know he was telling her, and you could see it on the show, you're so cool, I'm obsessed with your growth, like, you know what I mean? Like, it was insane. And maybe she's never had that kind of verbal affirmation given to her. Yeah. And of course this Gemini moon man is like feeding her all these words, giving it to her. And a part of her is probably very attracted to that because it seems like she is very uncomfortable with public speaking and being in front of the camera. I feel like his Gemini moon was feeding her all this confidence to talk, just talk, just say how you feel.
I know. Oh God. Okay, I'm like over here fuming and like literally vomiting about her because when I found out that she had a Sagittarius moon, I was like, she is so like everyone like she puts on this front like I'm dumb, like I don't know what's going on, la 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 la.
Meanwhile, there's a fire all around her and she started it.
Right, and I'm like, these two signs know what they're doing. You know what I mean? Like they are.
She's calculated.
Exactly. They're
Sagittarius and Virgo are very, very smart.
Yes. They are not dumb. And when you put the two of them together, they are like scary calculated.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like really particular.
I feel like her Sagittarius moon this is why she's very good at justifying her actions. Like Sagittariuses are very self-righteous.
Yes.
And her being a Sagittarius moon, when it comes to her emotions and where they led her, she feels very self-righteous about that.
Yes.
She's like, this is where my feelings led me when I finally started picking myself. When I finally started being a pick me. Because I was picking myself.
No, literally. And I just can't take it because we also know Sagittarius, the archetype to low-key, when they're low vibrational, to not be accountable, you know what I mean? And to be very fickle at the heart. So like, it just makes so much sense to me that she was willing to do something very scandalous like this.
Yeah.
Being a Virgo pick me, being fickle at the heart as a Sagittarius moon.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm not gonna lie, she got me good. Cause her Virgo sun, for a while, I was like, oh my God, like she's so composed, like she's so nervous, like, you know what I mean? She just wants to come off, you know, and she wants to come off in the best light. You know what I mean? And I feel like at a certain point, I don't know when, but at a certain point, the tide switched and her Sagittarius moon, the toxicity of her Sagittarius moon came out. She was like, I'm gonna do what I want and I don't give a fuck who's gonna stop me.
Right.
I'm gonna get what's mine.
that wild side.
Exactly. And you know, she tried to kind of tap into, I feel like, her Virgo sun during their reunion. Obviously, I don't know her rising sign. That would be great to know. She tried to tap into it and sit there composed, but she didn't understand that like that actually had the opposite effect.
Right.
And you know, her Sagittarius moon wasn't helping either. Like, we need you to show raw emotions. We need you to really comprehend like why this wasn't okay.
Right.
You know?
Now isn't the time to be analytical about it.
Yeah.
You know, and be like, well, this is why I did this. And I feel like that's what she was doing the entire time of her reasoning. Like, well, Tom said to wait, and we thought it was best to hold on to this. And it's like, no, that's not what we want to hear from you right now. Where is the emotion? And Sagittarius and Virgo can really struggle with that sometimes. You know what I mean? And another thing about their moon signs, Tom and Rachel, I feel like both of these moons, they can be very insatiable, like very hard to satisfy. And I feel like that's probably why maybe too they also liked each other. They were getting trash and we're like, oh, who's around?
Yeah, we're doing
You're giving me attention.
Yeah. No,
and this can very much be these moons.
Well, I feel like they crack jokes together. You know what I mean? And I have to be honest and say,
for sure,
what they did to Ariana is beyond fucked up. If these two people end up, you know, being together, and please don't like spite me for this, they're compatible. Like, maybe they should be together because it seems like they both don't take emotions that seriously. Yeah. And they do want to have a more fun life.
Oh my God.
But you know, at the end of the day, even though Raquel is younger than Tom, he will still be a liability to her at some point in their relationship, because Raquel, when if you're watching this, when you guys are comfortable with each other, she will start noticing how even though their moon signs are Gemini and Sagittarius, his Cancer sun will still be more chaotic than her Virgo sun.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It will be.
Facts. That is facts. And she's gonna have to deal with that. And I mean, I don't know. Something that keeps popping back up into my head is when she like thought, or I don't actually even know if she said this, so correct me if I'm wrong, but she thought that maybe they'd be a throuple. She said this,
no,
right?
she did. She did.
And I feel like that's what really excited Tom. He was like, oh, like we could be in a relationship and maybe you'd be like open to
He didn't get excited about that.
He didn't?
He put it down. He said Ariana would never be okay with that.
Oh, I thought meant, yeah, no, I didn't mean necessarily like for them. I think he meant maybe like, oh, if me and Rachel are in a relationship, like we could be in a throuple because she's like open to that kind of thing. And I feel like that's what his heart desires.
Let's be honest. I don't even know if you guys believe in this shit, but I watched a TikTok that talked about this. There's this spiritual lady that, you know, there's a lot of spiritual people on TikTok, but this lady, clearly I believe her. She was talking about lifetimes, and I wholeheartedly believe that we all have lived different lifetimes. Some of us have lived many lifetimes. I like to think I'm an old soul. And she, you know, looked over their auras and their energies, and she came to the conclusion that Raquel is in her first lifetime. And that makes her a perfect target for someone like Tom. And of course he loves how innocent she is and that he's looking and that she's looking to him for comfort and for advice.
Right.
Ariana never needed that from him. If anything, Ariana was doing the
that for him.
And I feel like a part of him feels very, very good about that, about being needed. And he's able to shape her into his perfect girl. And she's willing to be shaped.
Well, I mean, everything about her, like her being like a pageant girl, you know what I mean? Like screams that energy, like let me be shaped, tell me who I should be, like fit me into a mold.
Right.
And yeah, they're, in some ways I feel like they're both like loving and living off of that right now. I don't know if she'll continue to, but Tom definitely will.
Oh, absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely. Oof. Where's the loyalty? Where's the loyalty?
Nowhere to be found.
Where's the loyalty?
Nowhere to be found.
Yeah.
Oh, the way that they held the secret in for so long and dangled it in front of everyone.
Which is crazy.
That's the really
I think
sick
like they did a really good job, because I feel like Sagittarius moon, Gemini moon, not good at keeping secrets.
No.
Like, the only reason I'm good at keeping secrets is because of my Scorpio stellium.
Yeah.
These two signs love to talk, crack jokes, give it back and forth. So I'm just like, how did it not come out? But I can't help but think it's because of the energy of all their entire friendship circle.
Yeah.
This is why this situation went over everyone's heads. Because this is not a typical friend group.
Right.
You know what I mean? In a typical situation, people would notice. And people were starting to notice too.
Totally.
They just couldn't come out and say it without proof, because you're essentially putting someone on blast, Ariana, that didn't do anything wrong, and you don't want to just come to people with rumors without any proof, because you're just hurting people.
And how much can you really do when Ariana continued to defend him and defend her? You know what I mean? Like, it was really tough.
It was.
Well, you guys, thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video, and come back for part 2 when we talk about the other cast members. It's gonna be just as juicy and exciting. Okay, we're gonna link our socials somewhere around here.
We love you so much.
Love you so much. Happy Cancer season. Happy birthday, Cancerians.
We love you so
much.
Okay, bye.